What? No theme music, nah?
Gusto, now Chris the host. Man, I make a little dinner whilst passing joke. Come to the yard, get it off your chest. There's no hard feelings when you're rocking with the best. Everything's crisp, everything's nice. Throw a little sugar, add a little spice. Ask all questions, cook a little rice. Gamble like Vegas and throw a little dice.
Raise your glasses, make a toast. Drop by Chris for a Sunday roast. Or 8 taste of his mixology. Get twisted and not off the Hennessy. Now your belly's full, play a game of ball. Gusto, he's coming from the old school. No if buts, maybes, whys. No silly questions, I tell no lies.
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Live talks with Georgia Ohrdorf.
On reverse camera. Cool.
Oh,
Hello?
we went to see your bedroom, yeah? Was you gonna give us a bedroom tour?
Yes, that's the only private room in the house. Everyone else is home because it's the night time.
It's the night time. Nice. 7 p.m. out there. Nice and hot out there, yeah?
No, it's winter. It's actually very cold.
It's cold in Australia.
I mean, it's about probably like 9 degrees.
Kind of just showing off. It's just 9 degrees.
I saw someone today with like a fur Eskimo coat, and I was like, you don't even know what the cold is. Like, you don't need that here. But
you've been in Newcastle, so you know what cold is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is nothing.
This is nothing, man.
Definitely not.
When they come here and then they go back, they won't wear that coat. Oh my god. How you doing anyway? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad at all. How about you?
I'm great. Fantastic. Thank you for coming on the show, Georgia.
Yeah, no worries.
How you pronounce your second name? I don't want to get it wrong.
Ohrdorf.
Ohrdorf, I thought so. We've got Georgia Ohrdorf on here with us. Newcastle.
It's like a silent H kind of thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Ohrdorf, as long as I know that. All right. So how you been dealing with all this quarantine and that lockdown and that? How have you been adapting to that?
Look, so I had to leave pretty abruptly. I made the call on like a Tuesday and I flew out on the Thursday. So it was kind of like such a whirlwind. Like I literally had to pack up my house. I got to say goodbye to my teammates and my coach, which was nice. But I didn't get to say goodbye to like anyone at the Eagles, which was kind of a bit upsetting. So I had to email them. I'm like, I'm back in Australia. Like, thank you so much for everything. And I felt bad because I didn't get to say goodbye to like all my support like out there and things like that. So there was a lot of people that I didn't get to thank. But yeah, then I just kind of shifted in, and then the world kind of went nuts and everything shut down. So I was just kind of glad that I was back over here with my family and everything. But yeah, I'm having to finish uni because I was studying at Northumbria University up in Newcastle. So yeah, I'm writing my dissertation. So just having to do that, like kind of sit through lectures kind of at the same time. I had a lecture last night. So yeah, just sitting in there and talking, and yeah, so I'm kind of finishing that and then just kind of figure out what I'm going to do with my life.
Right.
Which I think a lot of people are doing right now.
Fair enough. Did you have plans for what you're doing after university? Was you reckon you're going to stay on with Eagles, or was it just a case of,
I was going to travel a little bit. That was kind of my plan. I was going to head back to the US and see some of my my friends over there, but obviously that didn't get to happen. And then I was going to do a bit more traveling in Europe because I didn't feel like I got to see enough of kind of Europe, but that's okay.
No, it'll still happen. Keep hopes alive. That's how I see it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we get into it. So where did you grew up then, innit?
Yeah, I'm exactly. I'm in my home where I grew up. I'm back with the parents. So
there's Australia, you grew up here.
Yeah.
How was the upbringing in Australia?
I'm good. Yeah, it was. There's so much space compared to Britain. Like, there's just so much space to run around, and I live 5 minutes from the beach, so I was like kind of a beachy kid. Yeah, yeah, just go down after school and hang out with my friends there, and yeah, so it was great. And then I started basketball pretty young, so I was like 5 or 6 when I started. So yeah, kind of between school and basketball, my life just kind of revolved around those two things.
Okay.
Yeah, I played basketball at a pretty high level all the way through, and on weekends we would go to like camps and we'd sleep in the stadiums and stuff like that. So I kind of like lived and breathed basketball all through my upbringing, which yeah was
Cool. What got you into
yeah, pretty
basketball at a young
nice.
age?
So my best
Who is it? Yeah,
Just you
probably.
roll.
Yeah.
Oh, I have my headphones on now.
No.
It's the transconnect, it's the divide over the oceans.
Oh yeah. You all good?
Yes, I think so. I'll just
Okay,
pop these
okay.
down.
No problem.
Cool. So I was talking about how I was getting into basketball. Yeah?
Yeah. So when did you get into basketball? You was talking about when you got into basketball, how you got into it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like 5 or 6, and my best friend, she's still my best friend actually. Her brother played and her dad coached, and we just went to like this little coaching clinic every Saturday, and from there it just kind of grew, and I got asked to try out for like the representative teams, and yeah, I just really liked the team aspect, and I was kind of tall, so that helped when you're a bit bigger than the other kids as well. You just kind of get picked for
Definitely.
everything when you're young. So yeah, that was really helpful for my development. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
So when did you like fall in love with the game? When you said, you know what, I want to pursue this as a career and you know make something out of it.
So I was in year 6. I was doing like this individual coaching with a girl who'd just come back from college in America. And she was just telling me all about like her experience and how like she got to go to university and just like lived and breathed basketball. And I was just working out one day and I was just like, I think this is for me. I think I could do something like this, and it sounds amazing. And I really just, yeah, I started working really hard from that point on, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I kind of, yeah, I did it. I ended up doing it.
Oh, good, good.
So
That's
yeah.
cool. I like that. I like that. And then, so talk us through your journeys. Then, you know, your journey before you went to Denver. So talk us through that, and then your journey in Denver as well. How was all that experience? Did you get that?
So like,
Yeah.
I got bits of it.
Yeah,
So
so
talking you through.
your journey before going to Denver and your journey during Denver when you.
Cool. So yeah, I grew up and I was really lucky to, I mean, we play in like, same as the UK, we play in like regions. So like I played for a team called Illawarra, and I was really, really lucky. I grew up with 10 really, really talented people, and in particular there was 2 twins, and we really pushed each other, and so we grew up with a really talented team. So we won a lot of competitions. So it's always nice when you play other teams and you beat them by like 50 and 60, and that's kind of what very, very. My one coach I had called us the dream team. Like we were just like this incredible group, and it's like once in a lifetime, you know. So that was really, really fun, and I think that, I mean, it helps, right? When you're playing with a team that's winning, you're like, okay, let's go to training because we know we're going to beat a team by like 40, like again, kind of thing. So that was really awesome. And then I obviously graduated out of the junior program, and I went on to like the senior kind of women program we've got over here, and we had a really good team as well. And we actually won the grand final like in overtime, and it was on my 18th birthday. So
What a birthday present!
Crazy. It was the best birthday present ever. There was drinks, a lot of people bought me that night, so I wasn't.
Did someone
It was
take?
very good. It was very fun.
Make sure you got home safe, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was the youngin. Um, yeah, so then after that, I graduated high school and we finished in like December. So then I had to wait like a full 8 months before I could go to college in America. So in that time, I just worked really hard on my game, and I was part of this like state development program. So I was going up and down to Sydney. Like I live an hour from Sydney, so it's going up and training like every day, and yeah, just working on my game. And that was the process of like going through all the colleges and like having to be recruited, which was like very difficult, especially being so far away. It's kind of hard to get your name out there and things like that. And you can send as much film and stuff as you want, but the coach has never actually seen you play. So you have like this disadvantage compared to the American kids. So I was just kind of trying to find the right fit, and I was lucky enough to actually go and visit Metro. They're like, we've never really done this for the female program, but we're going to bring you out, because I was like, oh, I don't really want to commit unless I've met the people that I'm going to be living with for the next.
Definitely.
So I got really lucky. I got to go watch the team play and like hang out for a few days, and I just loved it. And so the coach was like, you don't have to answer now, because obviously you're on the other side of the world, but like, let me know. So yeah, I just decided, everyone was telling me like, go Division 1, go Division 1. And I was like, no, like I feel really good here and I actually want to play. Like a lot of kids go in like, oh, I'm going to go D1, and then they don't get to play. So I'm very much, I know I'm going to hate my life if I'm not playing. Like what's the point in even going, kind of in my head. So yeah, went to Denver, and yeah, look, I got thrown in the deep end per se, because you have this, oh, I'm a freshman. You have this mentality like it's my first year, like I'm not going to get to play much. Yeah, I started every game from my freshman year to my senior year. So I really got thrown in. The first year I went there was 8 new people. So it was really just like fighting for that spot kind of thing. And in my head, I'm like naturally not a very confident person. I've really like had to work on that. And when I first went in, I'm like, these girls are going to be so much better than me. Like they're Americans. It's like they already know what it's like. And I was actually surprised myself. I was like, oh, I'm just as good as these people. Like it took me a few weeks to kind of get my groove, but then I'm like, oh, I can actually compete. And like, this is actually a really good level for me. So yeah, so Denver was great. We played like every weekend. We had a double header for like a lot of games. Like it was just crazy, but they literally treat you like royalty. Like we got fed like as much as we needed. Our coach was like, oh, you guys are hungry? Let's go get like a snack. And you're like, oh, but we ate lunch like an hour ago.
Like, no, don't worry. You look good.
Literally. And you get like all the gear. It's like, oh, you want another pair of shoes? Like, sure, we'll buy them for you. Like, how? Like, yeah, we got these basketball shoes and people were rolling their ankles, and my coach goes, oh, we should have got high tops. We'll just get everyone high tops. And we're like, but we already have 2 pairs of perfectly fine shoes. Like, it's exactly right. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. So yeah, but I did have my ups and downs, as you do as a basketball player. I think my coach expected a lot out of me, and I mean, I was 18, 19 when I first like moved away. So I wasn't ready for like the yelling. There's a lot of yelling, and I get it now in hindsight. I'm like, that's their whole job. Like they're going to work and they have to get results from like 19-year-old girls. Like that's not a position I want to personally be in. But yeah, it took me a while to kind of get my groove with my coach. But after the first 2 years, she's like, I really respect you, and that's why I yell at you. And I was like, oh,
fair enough.
That's fine. Like, I thought you just yelled at me because you didn't like me. So yeah.
So he's passionate. That's fair. So what was the defining moment when you started realizing you could play at this level? Like what was the defining moment that made you say, you know what, I know I belong here. I know I can make something out of this.
So my freshman year, we played at CSU, so Colorado State University, and it's like this huge arena, like nothing I'd ever seen before at like that level. Like the the place the professional team here play at, it's like nothing compared to that place. I walked in and I was like, oh my goodness, like, wow, like this is legit. Like, this is the things you see on TV. And I walked in and we played like this Division 1 team, and I kind of like held my own, and I was like, wait a second. I'm playing in this massive place, and I'm still being able to drive and kind of do what I want. Like, I think I can actually play with these girls. And then I think it was my freshman year, it just, like, we were so up and down that year, but me individually, I felt like I was emerging as like a leader, and I just had people really being confident in me. And I never really, I'd had that, but for them to kind of take a blind leap of faith at me, I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. And actually, now I'm processing this all through my head. I got in trouble for being late to a team meeting.
Wow.
And I was like, so there was like a 15-minute rule. So you have to be everywhere 15 minutes before the time. Anyway, literally was about 2 minutes late, maybe. My coach says, all right, tomorrow you're in the gym at 4:30 in the morning, and you're with one of the assistants. Anyway, he literally put us through like a torture session, like lunges with med balls. Like, we pushed this one box up and down the floor. We ran laps. We did our conditioning test. Like, he absolutely slaughtered us. I had no legs left. We did it for like an hour. Anyway, we had practice that day, and I won all the sprints. And my coach was like, you should be dead. And then we had weights afterwards. And I made it through the weights, but at the end, I like lost it, and I just burst into tears. I was just so tired. But that was literally the defining moment. Now I'm thinking about it. I was like, I just made it through all that nonsense, and I'm still here, and I can do it. And I'm like, I've literally pushed myself to like my boundaries. And the rest of it, like, if any time I would be like, I can't make it, I'd be like, remember that day when you did like a million workouts and you literally couldn't feel your legs, and like, you can kind of do it.
You can do it.
So yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's so inspiring. Like, just fighting through it. That's the main thing. That's what defines someone. Those big tests there, big challenges. So moving forward, then you so how did the Newcastle signing come about, and what made you go to Newcastle as well?
So in my head, I was always like, all right, I got my degree. I'm very like academically like focused, and I've always been like, like I have to take care of my education, because who knows how long you're going to have as an athlete, right? So literally professional basketball was not on my mind. I was like, I've gotten my degree, I'm going to go home, I'm going to find a job, or I'm going to keep studying. And then at Metro, they were advertising, someone from Northumbria, this university in the UK, is going to come speak. And I was like, might as well go see what they have to say. Like, I want to do my master's anyway. So I went and spoke to, I heard what they had to say. And like, for basketball, there's actually a professional team that's linked with the university. And I was like, okay, like, cool. So I just kind of put out the feelers there to be like, hey, what can you offer me? Like, I want to do a master's. And Chris Button got back to me, and he was like, yeah, like, you want to play on the pro team as well? And I was like, I was not expecting that. Was just expecting to go study and maybe play on the uni team, like whatever. And then I was like, look, if he thinks I can play professional, I'll come over for a year and just kind of have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, see what happens.
And he was like, no, actually, I want you for 2 years. And I was like,
2 years.
So I literally just kind of was like, yeah, why not? It was kind of one of those moments. I was like, talk to my parents about it, and like, are you going to regret not doing it? And I was like, yeah, I think I want to give it a go and see kind of how I go. And literally, I didn't really shop around. Like, you have people like shopping around for places. I'm like, well, you can offer me my education and a chance to play professionally, and I don't really need anything else. So yeah.
Okay, dope. And then how did you find that whole is it 2 seasons you stayed there, or 1?
2. Yeah. So I played. Well, there was a bit of like with the uni, because the uni used to be affiliated with the WBBL team, but then they went through all that kind of reshaping the athletics, and so then it was a bit up in the air. So I didn't even know if I was going to go. I was like, all right, well, there's not going to be a team. And then Chris was like, no, like the Eagles should save us, kind of thing. And I got really lucky that they did. So yeah, I got to come for 2 years. And yeah, it was honestly, it was such a change from college. There was a lot more freedom. There was a lot less
Yeah.
basketball in my life, which was much needed. Because I do love it, but some days I was just like, I've had enough. Like
Yeah, it's one of those.
my body's just like, no, kind of thing. So it was nice. We trained like twice a week and we played twice a week because I played for the university as well. And it was really nice to play with a diverse mix of girls. Like we had a bunch of Americans on the uni team and a few on the like at the Eagles. But then yeah, there was lots of Europeans and stuff as well. So it was just like a really good core group that we had. And especially last year, we were actually this it's still this year, I guess. This year we were really competitive, and it was just a lot of fun to play, especially with Lisa Coop and Monte, because they'd played professionally before, so they just had this like experience that they brought to the team that was just so fun to be around. And yeah, I really wouldn't change it. I wish we had have gotten to see the season out actually, because I think we could have kind of made moves in the playoffs, but we'll never know now.
Now, how did you find the culture of Newcastle on and off the court? So the basketball culture.
That was one of the biggest shifts actually, because obviously in the US, it's very strict and you're just like, the coaches are the coaches. But there was kind of this shift like, oh, we can go have a pint after the game. Like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's never happened in America. So
that happens in the UK quite a bit.
Yeah, Chris Bunton likes a pint and he's always up for a shout of the pint. So, and everyone knows that. That's not new knowledge, I don't think. So if you're ever in Newcastle, hit up Chris.
Oh yeah, I will be. I will be.
On the court, he definitely taught me a few things. And he's very passionate about the game, and he will go out on a limb, sometimes a bit too far, to defend us. It's really nice to have someone who has your back like that. But in some pivotal moments, we're like, Chris, we're not even that mad about it. Like, calm down. You're gonna get a tech foul. We're only up by a few points. Like, but it's just his passion, and he just loves the game. And like, he would get honestly more anxious about some games than I would, or any of my other teammates. He just really cared about it, and it's difficult to find people like that all the time that want the best for your team and they don't have any kind of ego about it. So
definitely,
that was really nice.
And what about like the culture with the fans and Newcastle fans? Because I know they've known to have a great culture up there. Like, they're very supportive. What was your perspective on it up there?
Oh, I absolutely. Once we moved into the arena, it kind of shifted a bit, because at Sports Central we weren't getting that many people. But once we moved into the arena, we started to build up this like really core fan base. And I used to work at some of the men's games as well, so they would recognize me. People would come up and be like, "You play on the women's team?" And honestly, the first time it happened, it like blew my mind. I was like, yeah, like, you recognize me? Like, that's so cool. Like, I was literally like, I was starstruck by my own stardom in the Newcastle area for a bit. I was like, oh, people know me.
I'm famous.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, when people took my photo, I was like, oh my God. No.
Signing the picture.
Yeah, I've made it. Look, Mum. No, but the people are so supportive. We started to get like a really good fan base at the games, and to me it was just, if you take the time to talk to people, they love it. Like, they just want you to listen to them, and they want to get to know who you are. And there was a lot of people that they would have conversations. And when Australia was going through all the bushfires, I had people come up to me and say, "Is your family all right? We've been hearing about the situation." And it was just so nice. Like, these people genuinely cared about me and how I was feeling. It was unreal. And we started to get like a really kind of loud, passionate fan base at the game, and it just makes it so much more fun to play. Like, you know you're going to get people coming who actually want to see you play, and people are like, "Oh, we like watching you better than the men," and because like it's more it's a purer kind of sport because you have to kind of work a bit more as a team because you don't have that athletic superstar kind of thing. And that was just so nice to hear as well. It's like, well, thank you. I'm glad you're actually enjoying it and you're not just coming to support like women's sport, you know? But yeah, no, Newcastle, the best part of Newcastle was definitely the people. Like I went down to London, no offense if you're from London, but it was too busy for me. There was people just like doing their own thing and I just didn't feel as comfortable. And then I was like, no, I need to go back up north. Life's just a bit slower and people were just like they would take their time out and actually look out for us. And we had a really big following too from I think they call themselves the Utah. And they would actually drive some of our buses to and from the games and things like that. And they were just completely volunteers and we would have had to drive ourselves without them. So, Newcastle culture, amazing.
Mate, I do get what you mean with London. Yeah, I am from London, but I've not lived in London for the past, if I can think of my head, past 11 years of my life. So yeah, there's reasons for that as well. Because like you said, it's busy. It's just unnecessarily busy. Too much going on. You can't think in London. So yeah, I've not been in London for a while. So I've been moved out for ages. So I do agree with what you're saying. Yeah. it's not the one for me. So your teammates that you were with. So how did your teammates embrace you? And what was your relationship and chemistry like?
So I always have said to people, I was like, I've moved around a lot and people are like, oh, how have you adjusted to that? And I'm like, I get gifted 10 best friends. That's kind of how I see it. I'm like, you have to love me because you're going to spend a lot of time with me. And I was very lucky both years, had a very good group of people. I lived with my teammate, Julia, and it was lucky we kind of just ended up rooming together because I didn't want to go back into dorms or anything. And we just clicked and literally like, she's my best friend and we did everything together. And it was just really nice to find someone like that when you just like randomly pick up and move halfway around the world. But yeah, like the chemistry of the team this year especially was just like wild. Like we just really enjoyed each other's company and we're all really focused when we needed to be, but we could also have a good time like off the court. And yeah, it was just really fun group of people to be around and a lot of different backgrounds and experiences. And that's what I like the most. You can learn from each other and you all have that common focus. So it's really nice.
I like that when different cultures, come together and, teach other people different things, that helps you to grow as a person and as a team and as an individual. So yeah, I get that. As a part of the talks I get into with every guest, I always ask like, what was your views on the WBBL? BBL and things that you saw working, things that you think they could work on a bit more?
Things that were good. I think from both perspectives, there is that really core fan base that's like slowly building up. I think that basketball is becoming like a major sport in the UK, and especially from being at the Eagles, we used to go out to the communities and work with like the Hoops for Health program. So we went into primary schools and kind of educated them about public health and things like that, but also that then built the fans. So I think initiatives like that, like working in the community, and I think a few programs like that launched for girls and things like that at a few of the WBBL games I saw. So I really think they're doing a good job of like going out into the community and kind of spreading the word about basketball, but also like wider issues, which you don't see that much from other sporting leagues, I feel like. What else did I like? I did enjoy like I think this year we all played together at the start, the WBBL. So it's kind of like the all-stars for the BBL. Like all the teams were there and it was just really nice to have all the teams there and you could watch all the games and things like that. What else? What could they work on? I think from a female point of view, it is just like the marketing a bit more. They are taking steps and I can like see that, but it's hard to draw crowds without like putting some money into it and things like that. And some of the facilities, I mean, even some of the facilities I think the men played at Like they're just really.
Yeah.
I showed up to play. We played London Lions or Barking Abbey. Sorry, Barking Abbey Lions at some school, and I was like, wow, like
Cool. Yeah.
we're really playing here. Like you couldn't really bring in fans or anything like that. It was just a court, and I was like, okay,
Wow.
again, fine, but like if you want, this is a national league, right? Like
This is a
so.
professional. It should be.
Putting the facilities in place or finding a facility. I'm like, we're in London. Surely there's a better facility than this gym that you're kind of like you've got set up here. But yeah, yeah, you've stumped me. I haven't
Yeah.
really thought about this too in depth, but
No, it's all right if you ain't got much, but I get what you're trying
no,
to say.
no. The other thing I would say is yeah, the live streaming. I think my mom's actually just commented that.
Oh, that's
Um,
mommy. That's who that is. It's mommy.
That's my mom. She's just in the other room. Anyway, yeah, so it was great this year for the BBL, like having all the games streamed. And when I was talking to the Eagles, I get it. Like you want to draw fans, so you don't necessarily want everything on YouTube because you do still need to sell tickets. But I obviously lived overseas. So I had my family back home who just wanted to watch a game. And I think we had one WBBL game streamed and there was no score, there was no commentary, there was no nothing. And it's like you're trying to grow the game,
Yeah.
and I get that you want to fill the stands, but we have a lot of international players, and if you want to attract more international players, then they're going to have people that want to watch the games as
Need more
well.
coverage. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also you want to attract sponsors. They need more coverage. Definitely the market. They need more. People need to see that there is something here. We can shout out as much as we can, but they need more coverage. But
Yeah. Even the BBL, like, yeah, that the cup game, was it the trophy cup? I don't know, they all confuse me. The last game that was played, that was like the last sporting game on like in the world almost.
yeah.
Like if you had really done that coverage well, which I think they did, I watched bits and pieces, they did
Yeah.
that well. You can draw international crowds. People like watching sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in general, any sport. So yeah, I definitely think working on making that coverage of a higher standard would definitely help.
Okay, definitely agree with that. And the market needs to be a bit more effective as well. I think shed a bit more light on players because, like yourself, seeing you, the fact that they recognize who you are, I think they should capitalize off of that. Like, this is Georgia from Newcastle. There's something to, make the players feel a bit more special. So that's
Yeah.
something I
Yeah.
agree with. So
Thanks.
next set question is favorite pre-game meal and post-game meal.
Well, post game, it's a complete blowout, isn't it? Like, it was frozen pizzas, frozen fries, as many pints as I kind of wanted. Yeah, look, it was bad. Pre-game, I'm not really that much of a stickler for like nutrition, really. If anything, I'm like, I was playing that much sport, so I could kind of eat whatever I wanted. Would try something a bit lighter, especially we played afternoon games quite a lot.
Yeah.
So make sure that you had like a bigger breakfast. So probably like a scrambled egg breakfast,
Yeah.
a cup of coffee, and then like a snack before the game. But I always got real hungry at halftime, so I'd have to have a banana kind of ready in my bag to give me a sugar boost at halftime.
Someone made a good point. Buying ticks as it is. So people ain't buying ticks as it is. So what's the fair in streaming? Got a good point.
Yeah, agreed. Completely
Got
agreed.
into my next favorite part is the hotspot questions. So now they're 2 3-part questions.
Okay.
And first part is player you love playing with, a player you love playing against, and a funny teammate.
All right. Player I love playing with. Biased, but Julia Simeone. She came off my pick and rolls really nicely and would always dump it in. She's like a little fire starter. She'd just get the energy going, and she could literally do a little bit of everything. Yeah, she probably hated that I didn't pass to her more. Sorry, Jules. Player I liked playing against. I mean, Kat Carr, she was just an unstoppable force. Like every time I'd play against her, she's got a little bit of everything, and we got into it a few times, I think, and it's just, yeah, she just has all these skills. Tiani Clark as well, like just very, very talented individuals who just know the game very, very well, and it was always like crazy. But also Kate Oliver, there was a little bit of Australian rivalry. I don't know if she knew there was a rivalry, but I felt it.
Yeah.
And her being just like that little bit taller than me and a bit more experienced, there was always some arms flying and things like that. Funniest teammate. Some of the young ones on my team were pretty funny this year. It's just like sometimes the things they say, like Millie Oates, you'd be like, why did you say that? Like it's just like it's funny almost in a way you're like, oh my gosh, like how did that just come out of your mouth? But just like a curious question sometimes too. So she was very, very funny. But I also enjoyed Lisa Coop. She's very experienced and a bit older, and so you'd think like, oh, she's mature and everything, but she'd just come out with some lines, and she was German too, so her accent sometimes, she would yell at the refs in German as well, and yeah, that just made me laugh.
Yell at the refs in German, that's fun.
Yeah, so no, again, I had a great group of people around me this year, so I had a really, really fun season.
Funny as well. So the next 3-part question is player you didn't like play with, so it's not necessarily someone you didn't like or didn't hate. You might have liked them, they might have been a friend, but sometimes you might not like playing with them. A player you didn't like playing against, the kryptonite, and then also a funny opponent.
All right, player I didn't like playing with. Interesting. Let's see. I'm just kind of trying to go back through my teammates. Well, sometimes it was Lisa because we both get in each other's way sometimes. We just like both find ourselves in the same position, and she'd be like, "Why are you here?" And I'd be like, "Well, why are you here?" Sometimes we just disrupted each other's flow a little bit, and that was completely unintentional. And I tried to get out of her way because I'm like, "You're 6'6", I'm 6 foot. Like you should be at the basket. I don't know why I'm here."
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the next question?
And a player you didn't like playing against.
I didn't like playing against. Well, like before, I hated playing against Oliver because she was just that little bit bigger than me. Who else? I'm trying to think of the league. This is so bad. Who did we play?
It's a tough match.
I'm so bad with names too. Cara. So Cara Elderkin from Durham. We played together the first year, and then played against her this year, and she knew how I played, so we were both just like getting after it. Like I think I accidentally, kind of on purpose, hit her like in the face because she was just getting. She just knew my game, and it was very annoying. But she's a very talented athletic player too. Match her physicality. And then funniest
opponent.
Funniest opponent. I really don't notice people on the court. Sure there was some. I had a funny conversation with someone from Nottingham. I think it was Jasmine Joyner.
Oh, right.
She seems like a really funny person, but she's like so intense on the court. But I think like we'd get on well off the court. Like she just strikes me as that. We had a bit of banter on the court with her and a few of her teammates, and I was like, I feel like you guys would be really funny. But it's one of those things like you see teams and you're like, I think we'd be friends, but you can't like them. You know?
Yeah.
It's just.
So after the game, you find out if you're compatible, right?
Yeah, you never. But if you. Yeah, there's never a good time because one of you has lost, right? So you don't really want to talk to the other team. But yeah, there needs to be like a social. I'd like a social at the end of the year. That's a thing. Like all the teams just come together and we all just go out for a night out.
That's not a bad idea, isn't it? That's not a bad idea.
That would be fun.
What was Jasmine Joyner like playing against her as well?
She was something else. Like she was an animal. Like I don't know. Like she would just turn another gear and like grab 40 rebounds that seemed like a game, and just
Damn.
keep getting to the basket. And like I knew what she was going to do, I just couldn't stop her. Like she was just, oh yeah, very, very talented individual.
That's when you know someone's talented. You know what they're gonna do. You're there prepared to stop it, and you still can't stop it.
Like you're probably going to drive right and just like barrel through me, and I can't really do much.
And you look at your coach like, and he can't say nothing.
Take me out. Take me out, coach.
Oh my gosh, man, that's funny, man. All right, while we're still in, people who are still tuned in, if you've got any questions for Georgia, please throw them in right now. And Georgia, do you have any questions for myself while we're on?
How did you start all this? I haven't really done any research, and I feel bad. But how did you start all this? Because it's a really good idea.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to research. Yeah, this all started already. I've got a show. I've got the episodes going to release. Should hopefully be releasing them. Don't know if it's taking long, but my main idea was to start a show and bring guests on to the TV show, and it was kind of like create that platform for basketball players. Then I'd recorded some episodes, and then COVID came in to play, so it kind of put a span in my plan, span of works in the plans. So spoke to my team. I said, "What do you reckon about doing these lives?" And they said just try it out and see what happens. And then April 19th, I can remember, I did my first 4 lives, and then since then I've kind of built on it because a lot of people like it. A lot of basketball players have been saying they like it so much, and so I've said to myself, I'm gonna keep doing it. Then and then, yeah, it's been catching on. A lot of players from the BBL, Division 1, WBBL, they like the platform. They like that that I'm involving them, and it's more of a way like it's just to get a better side of the basketball players. I feel like people need to know who the players are. It's all good knowing about the sport, but I'm gonna introduce people to the players. So. Get everyone to know. Yeah,
I think it's easier to support people if you know them, right? Like if you feel like you have that connection with them, like you're like, oh, I know a little bit about them. Yeah, I think it's a really great idea.
Yeah. So that was the aim. Yeah, exactly. So doing these talks and then, putting them on YouTube, get them out as many platforms as I can. I've got a YouTube channel out now, so that's all sorted. I've just put
nice.
Javon Pryor's episode on YouTube on my channel, so that's there. And then
is this like something you want to do like as a career? Like, do you think you want to? Yeah,
definitely.
You're good at it.
I visualize what I want to do. So it's more just as well as these lives, or hopefully when we all get back to going to the games, I also want to be doing the courtside stuff. I don't think there's enough of that.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
So there's not enough of that. So that's so that's how I got into it, and that's what I want to do going forward. Have it as a career.
Yeah. That's cool. I could see you being a hype man.
All right.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Hype man Chris. That's my new nickname now. So if they say where I get it from, I said Georgia gave it to me. Hype man Chris. She wants the royalties. All right, you got a question here. What was your favorite Eagles game you played in? Oh, nice.
Ooh. So hard. We played in Durham, and we just played really well as a team. That was one of my favorite games, just because we all clicked and we just were all really on the same page. And it just feels really good when you play a game and you're like in that flow together. Also, there was a game this year. Oh, we almost beat Seven Oaks at home, which was like, yeah, it was nuts. Like we were all like, we can beat them. Yeah, so close. And we had great fans, and there's just a great atmosphere, and like it really felt like a big step for us as a team. So that was probably one of my favorite games to play in as well.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Mummy, promoting. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying my best.
Number 1 fan now.
I've got a new fan now.
Yep, definitely.
All right. Gosh. I think I've got another question then. So, what was playing against Leicester on a whole? What was that like? Because I know they're trophy champions and they've got a resume.
Yeah,
Really to me.
it was hard for us because we would play them in uni as well. So we'd play a pretty similar team at the university. So we played them like back to back one week. But yeah, they were very talented. They were very well coached, very well disciplined, and they had a lot of, you kind of went in and you're like, oh, like they're okay, but then their individuals would just shine on different days. So like you'd shut down one and someone else would pop up and you're like, but we shut down hers, but we should be winning.
Wait, she's been at the game, so where did she come from? And then wait, we just stopped turning. Yeah, someone else said the same thing. They said the Leicester's got so many weapons. You're just like, what the hell do we do?
Yeah, it was definitely one of those situations. We just like, and they knew us very well, and we didn't have as much depth as them. So it's like, well, once you've got me locked down, like, what am I going to do, kind of thing, and I can't lock you down. So yeah, it was just one of those constant like, I'm doing everything I can, but you guys are still coming at us. So it was very good. I was very excited to play them again, like as the Eagles, because we'd beaten them in the uni league. But we had a completely different lineup for that team, so it was going to be interesting to kind of see that again. And we were meant to play at the arena as well, so I was a bit disappointed about that. We were meant to follow a men's game, I think, which would have been very fun. It would have been a very fun time, but it is what it is.
And who was another tough team you thought you reckon you say was a tough team you went up against? Other than that?
I mean, obviously Sevenoaks, they would always just...
Other than Sevenoaks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Sevenoaks are tough as well.
Sevenoaks were tough, always. I mean, Nottingham were always tough, and Manchester were always tough.
Oh, Manchester.
They're another few teams. Manchester was, again, it was one of those teams you're like, oh, like their records, like, average, you know, but they've got like Georgia Jones and...
Ryan Bailey.
Yeah, Rand Bailey. Yeah, they had a lot of experience, so you could never really be like, oh, like you couldn't rest. It was always just like go, go, go. So we really enjoyed. We played there, and we thought it was going to be it for us. And then we kind of came back, and we had a really good fourth quarter. But yeah, they're similar. They just keep rotating people through, and they had a lot of just athletic people, and then experienced players. So. Yeah, Manchester were definitely another team that was just battlers. So
that's interesting. All right. That was all right. Any more questions? No more questions. All right, Georgia, again, appreciate you coming on and giving us your time.
Thank you.
And I hope the Masters go well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, and I think you had some fans that are disappointed that you might not be coming back, but obviously we hope you do come back.
Yeah, we'll see.
Whatever you choose to do, we'll be supporting you. We'll support you anyway. But
thank you. Good luck with everything with you as well.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. And everyone else, Georgia, she's on Instagram, Georgia.Ohrdorf, right?
Nice. Yeah. Well done.
Ohrdorf, and I'm Everyting Chris _2020. So yeah, that's me. Georgia.
Have a good one.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Everyting Chris. Everyting Chris. Everyting Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Yes, I'm Chris G, host of Everyting Chris. Hope you liked that video. If you did, click that like button. Also leave a comment, and also if you want to see more, click that subscribe button to get a notification when we upload new content every single time. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you stay tuned for some more. And also, as you know, with me, everything's always Chris.